Alright, what is going on, guys? Got another breakdown for UFC Vegas 70. This one's on the prelims at Bantamweight. We got Jose Johnson making his UFC debut against Garrett Armfield. Johnson going to have a 4-inch advantage in reach. He's also about 4 inches taller. So I will start with Johnson, I suppose. UFC debut, like I said, came up victorious on the Contender Series against Jack Cartwright, who was undefeated. Looked good, unanimous decision win. It was actually his second appearance on the Contender Series, first time out. Lost to Ronnie Lawrence, was taken down like 9 or 10 times in that fight. But showed a good get up ability too. He's got really good sweeps and does a really good job of getting up off of his back. And, he's been in some bad positions on the ground at many times in his amateur career, and he's handled himself well on the ground. So, I know a lot of people are going to look at that those 9, 10 takedowns and say, first of all, it's going to skew his takedown numbers. If you're looking at stats, that's part of the reason why I think stats are really unreliable for MMA. You've always got to watch the fight tape because just 10 takedowns in a fight is going to screw up everything for for overall takedown stats. But yeah, he was getting up. He didn't look absolutely exhausted in the third round. He was still in the fight and landed some good offense of his own in that fight as well. And that's primarily the thing with him. He's a long, rangy striker, really good movement, really good defensive awareness too. And he's aggressive for a kickboxer too. He's not like a dance around on the outside kind of guy. He kind of reminds me of Javid Basharat. I think Basharat's a little bit more polished, but think like that. He's got that movement, but he's also aggressive and does a really good job just picking his spots, leg kicks and body kicks in and out. Doesn't sit there to get hit, just chops his opponent down. And then when he does land that 1-2, it does a lot of damage. He's also very good in the clinch. He's gotten a couple knockouts in the clinch. And a lot of first round knockouts with WXC and with Fury primarily, but he's also had some fights with LFA. He's got some respectable losses in his career. Was KO'd in the first round by Manda Martinez, who is a power puncher. I was able to just get inside, catch him with that hook. We went over the Lawrence loss. His other losses. Who else? I know he's lost to some other decent people. Levi Moles isn't bad, and Armando Villarreal, Contender Series veteran. So, it's primarily been good. He's going to have more fights in this one. But, yeah, rangy kickboxer, fairly good get-up ability when he does get taken down. He does get taken down, but he gets back up fairly well. I like the power and his ability to break his opponents down. And for Garrett Armfield, training out of Sanford MMA, took his UFC debut on short notice against David Onama, where he was also at a reach disadvantage. Onama, I think, had an extra inch of reach, so 5 inches in that one. It'll be 4 in this one. But, he did well. He's got good boxing. Armfield does, for sure. And, Onama was clipping him at range, but Armfield was doing a good job. Fairly decent head movement. And he does a good job of getting inside, landing his own offense. And like I said, his punches are very good. One of his only losses in recent years against Matteo Vogel had him busted up bad. Was looking like he was going to finish that fight in the first round. And then again in the second. But Vogel just perfectly timed. Back take, got a submission locked in. And he actually did fight out of the first one. Armfield did. But then he came right back not long after and was able to sink it in, got the rear naked choke. So, again, his boxing looked great in that one. Beyond that, just, a lot of finishes against, subpar competition. We look at some of these records, 2-11, 8-11, 1-0. And so, we've gone over it a lot recently, I feel like, with these newcomer type fights. It's always so hard to know what you've got with a regional scene record. It's almost impossible to go off of it. Just because he's got a subpar record in opponent quality doesn't really mean all that much. He's winning these fights in spectacular fashion like he should. And he's training out of Sanford MMA. And again, handled himself fairly well against Onama. Onama was eventually able to overpower him and work in that triangle in the second round. But Armfield employed some of his own offensive wrestling in the first and, landed some meaningful offense. But he was getting tagged at range. And that's really where the fight's going to come down to. It's like, can Armfield get inside and try to break him down? We've seen Johnson has lost in that way in the past. Because if he's allowed to just be able to kick and punch at range, I think he's going to get this one done. So we look at the odds here. And Johnson is an underdog at plus 135. Armfield minus 155 favorite. And I'm going to go with Jose Johnson. I'm going to try to get a bet in on this probably right after this video. But, it could really go either way. I just like what I've seen from Johnson. A little bit more opponent quality on the regional scene. He has more fights. And, he has a few more stoppages. But Armfield, just a lot of questions. But, that's not a bad thing. Because from what I have seen, he's looked good. Again, huge underdog against Onama. Took that on short notice. And he looked really good. He didn't look like a plus 800 underdog or something. He was around that price range. It was really, really hefty. It looked more like minus 200. That's what it looked like. So, again, it's like he's training out of a really good gym. He'll have a full camp this time, and I like what I've seen. It's just like I've got to side with the experience and the range and Johnson's finishing ability here against just a little bit more of the unknown here in Garrett Armfield. But it could really go either way. It's a good matchmaking, good fight. I like this card a lot better than tomorrow's card on paper at least. But these low level cards, which Vegas 69 is, always tend to deliver. But anyways, yeah, I'm really liking UFC Vegas 70 compared to this week. So thanks for watching, guys. Sure, subscribe and take it easy.